By the head coach at Hampton, Trenton Boykin. Good afternoon, Trenton.
Good afternoon.
28-10 loss to nationally ranked Monmouth, but a game that you guys battled them throughout. 14-10 game going into the fourth quarter. Just give me your impressions on the way your guys played.
Everything, that we talked about all week, we knew that they were a great team. And, the thing we talked about all week is let's get it in striking distance in the fourth quarter. And we were able to, get it into striking distance in the fourth quarter, defensively, kind of bend, don't break mentality throughout the game. And so that's kind of what we did. And then offensively, we kind of did what we needed to do to kind of keep it right there. But at the same time, we talked about it also that they can score points, and when your defense can get a stop, you have to be able to take advantage of that. And once again, opportunities came our way, and in critical moments, we get a holding call, or we get the ball on the 6-yard line, and we get a touchdown with a holding call, and then we get a sack, and then we take a sack, and now all of a sudden we went from being right there to take the lead, to now having to and then we end up throwing an interception right there. Just time again where we're knocking on the door, and we shoot ourselves in the foot for whatever reason. And it's just something that we keep teaching and keep coaching every week. But for the most part, proud of how our guys fought. Like I said, we talked about it all week. Let's be in striking distance in the fourth quarter, and we were in striking distance.
Teams you've had, and you kind of touched on for the last several weeks, some penalties taking away some big plays that would have been game-changing type of plays. How frustrating is that as the coaching staff, and what can you do to try to fix that?
It's just, again, you never can practice game situation like you can as best as you can. But to be able to put them in that situation on a third and something, and this play is like every play you have to play. Every play is its own separate play. And you go back and you watch film, and you try to correct it again, and again it's just it's tough, because you feel like you're preparing your guys, you're going over these things, you're practicing those things, and then you know you jump off sides in a crucial down, or you get a holding call or whatever, and it's like, man, right here, it's just it's not needed. So it is frustrating, but like I said, our guys, they fought like crazy to get to where we were at. You're playing the ninth, 10th best team in the country, and you're down one score going into fourth quarter, and have a chance, to take a lead, and we get a huge holding penalty on a big run by our tight end. It gets the ball down to the 25-yard line, and it's 14-10 right there. And feel like, man, you get a chance to go up 17-14, early in the fourth quarter. How does that play itself out? And we can't make those mistakes at those critical moments.
Defensively, as you touched on, you held them to the fewest points that they've had all season long. Obviously, without Derek Robertson, you probably knew that they were going to rely a little bit on that running game. What makes that run game so tough to stop? And what were you guys able to do well to keep them at 28?
I think we were able to give some different looks. And our guys just played hard. I think that on the defense staff came up with a great game plan to make sure that again, we kind of just kept things in front of us. We knew that they were able to run the ball, and we knew that that's what they were going to kind of heavily rely on. But we made some key stops and some good moments, and gave the offense a chance to kind of go down, and that's what we were hoping, that it could be one of those type of games where you win it 20-17, you 21-20, you keep it low scoring and give yourself a chance right at the end. So we knew that they were going to run it, but we also knew that, hey, when they needed to, if we could get them to a second and long and force them to kind of have to throw it, we felt like we were going to be in a good situation. And so, give credit to them of just keep fighting and kept fighting and was able to make some key plays at the right moment. Our guys just we got to get to that mentality where we can make those type of plays ourselves in key situations.
One of the guys that certainly had a big afternoon on your defense was Will Hicks, 13 tackles, got in for a sack and also forced a fumble. And just talk about the game that he was able to put together.
Yeah, we knew that he was going to be a guy that could make some plays for us and put him in some positions where he could kind of be freed up and kind of just not have a responsibility, but just kind of go play ball. And that was kind of the plan all week, is kind of put him in some positions where old fashioned see ball, get ball type
Mhm.
mentality. And he was able to take advantage of that.
Offensively, Braden Davis bounced back from sort of a tough game, 21 and throws for a season high 242 yards, 21 to 33 through the air. How did you think he played and was able to bounce back?
He did a lot of film study. It was great to see him, have that kind of performance. But again, with quarterbacks, you're hard on everything, that they do. But I thought he got the ball out quick, and we were able to get it to multiple guys, and I think that's always helped him when you can get the ball to four or five different targets. I feel like that puts him at a ease, in a rhythm. When you're, I think I want to say maybe six different guys touch the ball.
Mm-hmm.
For him, I just feel like he's comfortable in that setting where he can distribute the ball out to different guys.
One of those guys that at the receiver position had a big day was Tayshawn Johnson. 7 catches, went over 100 yards receiving. How have you seen his season progress and get better for you as the year's gone along?
Oh man, it's good to see. He has playmaker ability. Catches some hard balls, caught a couple of tough ones, and made things happen afterwards. And it's good to see him. Kind of getting a good rhythm and a good groove. That it's a guy that we know. When we need to get the ball to somebody, he's a guy we can definitely get the ball to.
You guys have a bye week ahead after playing 9 straight weeks and quite a bit of travel. How much do you need this bye week, and how are you going to use it?
We needed a lot. Get guys back healthy, and everybody's dinged up. But again, just really focus on us. In these next couple days, and um, just polish up some things that we know that we can get better at. We'll spend today and tomorrow for sure just looking at us and what we can do, and then start looking at the next opponent a little bit on Wednesday. But the biggest thing is getting our guys back as healthy as possible and just working on our base fundamentals.
All right, Trent. Thanks so much for the time here this afternoon. Enjoy that bye week, and we'll talk.